This is Juniper Song, a Forbidden Lands actual play podcast from Stories with Dice. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Good evening, Marco. How are you?
Good evening. Episode 5. Yeah, I'm okay. I have 2 cats here in the studio with me. So if they're sleeping at the moment, but if they start making a fuss, that's just going to be some extra sound effects for the game.
So that's okay. As soon as they start meowing, I'll just start throwing saber-toothed tigers and stuff into them.
There you go. Exactly.
The mix. It's all fine. How are you, Scott?
Other than being very, very warm, Ed, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Cool. And Tony, how is the joys of Spain?
It's great. I'm so happy to be back next to the sea and enjoying Mediterranean.
We're coming over now.
I'm enjoying watching you in my binoculars from the water on my yacht.
I mean, I think we need to call someone. Well, let's jump straight into the episode, shall we? So, we left off last time. You had trekked all the way around following the river, looking for Baradon's legend that he picked up. He had kind of figured out that there was this legend that he'd heard of all about a dwarf by the name of Stein Brutung who had some kind of artifact, some kind of scroll, which you think has something to do with some kind of music or some kind of epic music score or something like that. And it was currently somewhere in the Shroud Forest, which was potentially, as far as you heard, was being guarded by robbers or something like that. So you had followed this all the way through, and indeed you had managed to come to this tower, like a broken down tower, and on the tower there was let's see if you can recall this, Scott. What was written on the tower? How are your notes?
Give me 1 second, I will flash them up.
That's not
I do have notes on this. I took things, I wrote things. Inscription on the tower: move ever forward to find riches, written in ancient Dwarven.
Yes, correct. And so you did. And you eventually came to this lake, and on the lake there was a forest jutting out, going into the water, and just behind the trees you could see the tower of what looked like a small keep of some kind. And that's where you kind of got to. So you're now looking at this keep. Who's the person? I think, Tony, you were Angelo. Well, no, was it Gray that was at the front?
Anduin was leading the way.
You were leading the way.
I'm always leading the way.
Right, okay. But I think it was Gray who was on the lookout, right?
If there is danger, I'm not leading the way. Then it's...
What do you ask?
I did think that's how it works, but I like the way. No, I'm not doing it's dangerous.
What do you ask if Gray was
So one of you were leading the way, and I think one of you was scouting. I think that was
Gray, yeah.
That was Gray. So could Gray please make a scouting roll? But could you take 2 dice off of that?
Why would I want to take 2 dice off of that?
Because I'm a mean GM.
I failed, and I have 3 Banes, which means if I push it, I am going to lose 3 wits, and that's not going to happen.
Okay, cool. Yes, you kind of make your way. You can see sort of like the sort of light trees ahead of you, and then just behind, in the trees, nestled in the trees, you can see this keep. What's the plan?
Ed, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to push the rest button last time we rested, so...
Well, why did you all put the rest button in? Because, it's fun.
Well, since I'm leading the way and there is nothing to be afraid of because our awesome scout didn't see anything, I'm guessing I'm continuing and following the river. I'm approaching, I think it was in the other side of if I remember now, was it on the other side or...
No.
Or...
So, no, it's on the same side that so the river kind of ended up spilling out into this massive lake. And it was on this side of the...
it was on the lake, exactly.
This side of the lake, you can see, as the river kind of like spills out into the lake, you can see the lake ahead of you, and there's the Shroud Forest kind of like comes, because you've been following the sort of like greenway between the river and the forest, maybe about 400 meters either side, that you've been traveling. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. And then it kind of like abruptly stops where the Shrouded Forest kind of comes out and actually goes into the lake. And it's through that bit of forest you can see the
Yeah, so I just basically continue and I'm just leading the way, trying to find the entrance to this keep.
That makes sense to me. Okay, well, you go into the forest, and it doesn't take very long, and you kind of come across this dwarven tower. It has a bunch of dwarven runes on it. It's sort of 5 stories tall, and it's kind of like relatively square, but there is sort of like a small sort of tower as you're looking at it, the right-hand side. There's a set of stairs leading up to a very nice single oak door.
Okay. Do I feel that this area has been lived? Like there is people living around?
A scouting roll for me, please, sir. Seeing as you're leading the way.
2 successes.
2 successes. Why don't you be the scout next time?
My God, I have to do everything in this team. I mean, what a troop. I mean, seriously. I mean, I should be the lead singer, but that's fine.
Well, it could be if you could sing.
It's hard to be the lead singer. It's hard to be the lead singer when you're blowing into a tube or whatever the hell it is you play.
Yeah, you're having this discussion, and you kind of look around. So through the trees, you kind of walk towards the front of this keep, and you're looking around, and you can see that off to the side, next to a tree, there is a whole load of fresh dirt that's been dug up, and there is a bunch of ash and various detritus around said tree. It looks like someone has been burning their rubbish.
I think we are not alone. What do you think, Gray?
It looks recent, right?
It does look very recent. Maybe a day.
And what kind of garbage is it?
You can see what looks like wrappings of food. There's poop and various other things. Looks like it's been piled into the pit that has been dug at the base of near to the base of the tree, and then has been set on fire.
So, Peredon, doesn't your legend say anything that this place... Because I actually thought this was going to be like an empty keep or like a ruin.
Well, the rumours around the Legend of Steinbruntag do mention that there's a band of robbers in the area where the score was lost. But again, the legend's hundreds of years old, so if they're still here, it could be the descendants of the original band of robbers, a new band of robbers, or undead robbers, which would be...
And, well, I'm hoping that the robbers at least are partial to music and to band of troubadours like us. Perhaps we can play the role and infiltrate.
Earn the song by playing our music for them rather than brutally murderizing all of them.
Yeah, I don't think Gray's way of doing things is the right one here.
Gray, what do you think?
I haven't come to any decision yet as to what is the right or wrong way of doing anything because I have yet to meet someone.
Beredon strides boldly up to the door to the keep and just bangs 3 times.
I just hope this burnt garbage didn't make a toxic cloud.
You gotta love a fearless leader. There you go, Beredon, and a clap.
No one answers. It's very quiet.
In that case, we'll try the door.
Okay, you try the door. Make me a strong roll. If you've got might, you may add that.
So, for those of you playing along, Beredon's strength score is a mighty 3. Given my dice rolling so far, this game... Oh. That's actually a success. So,
it is not enough of a success, but would you like to push it, considering that you have 1 lane?
Given that, I'm pushing on the door and it's giving slightly but not enough, Beredon will step back and let one of the sturdier members of the party take his shot.
As Beredon steps back, the door slams shut, and then you hear a plonk noise as a lock or something gets put in place.
What is this door made out of?
It's made of wood, oak, and metal.
So there was somebody on the other side then?
Yeah, it feels like as you were opening the door, someone was behind there and basically pushed as you were pushing, and they just won as you sort of stepped back and shut the door behind you.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We are a band of troubadours.
Beredon strikes a few chords on the lute just to prove his troubadouriness.
And I pull out my flute and I follow up on Beredon's.
He starts playing some Jethro Tull.
Yeah. Great. Do you want to make a scout roll?
Am I reducing it?
Just a straight scout roll will be fine. Okay.
2 successes.
At the window to the left-hand side, there is like a small sort of arrow sort of size window. A face appears.
You could call it a murder hole.
You could call it a murder hole. No, I'm going to call it sort of a window for an arrow to be shot out of.
An arrow slit. Yep.
An arrow slit. Yeah, you can call it that. Yeah, there's a person on the other side, and they are looking at you. They look like they've got a bit of a beard, and they're sort of graying in the sort of like eyebrows and the hair. And as soon as they see you look at them, they disappear from the window.
I say, "Oi, come down here and open this door, please."
What do you want?
We want to come in.
You can't come in. This is our keep.
We're not going to take the keep from you. We just want to come in.
That's what you say. Go away.
Look, man, don't make me angry.
See? Now you want to use violence.
I didn't say I was going to use violence. I just said you don't want to make me angry.
The person says, what? No. I can see 3 of them.
We are the Folk Vandals Club, traveling musical band. Let us perform for you this evening.
We're not here to take your keep.
We're just here to play for our supper.
No, we're busy. Yeah, start playing. Go away.
That is the worst flute playing I have ever heard.
Now, be nice to Andrew, and he's still learning. I think that was very good, Andrew, and much better than your previous attempt.
Thank you so much.
Should I burn the door down?
Yeah, if they're not going to let us in, we may as well just go for violence.
He turns.
Look, let's be
Everyone
realistic.
shrugs and steps back from the door, letting Gray get in.
Are you going to be particularly subtle about saying that, or are you actually going to be quite loud when
No,
you say
I'm
that?
saying that so that he can hear me, yes.
Okay. What? No. Hang on. I need to go and speak to the boss. Stay there.
Great. We should be more careful. We don't know how many of them are inside. We are just 3.
Yeah, that's fine.
Violence is not the way.
No, but intimidation seems to be working quite nicely.
It goes quiet for a short while.
Just look around in this while we are waiting. I just want to check out the perimeter of this. Do I see anything special? Extra doors?
No.
Kind of hidden entrance, like
So if you want to walk
underground.
around the keep,
Yeah.
it's not particularly big. You can probably see that it's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms around, so it's actually not a massive keep. You can see there are windows, much of the same, around the rest of it. The same sort of thing, sort of arrow slits. And you can see there's some kind of wooden shutters behind them, but there doesn't seem to be another door out of here.
Yeah, so it's not very big. It's like 6 meters. 3 by 3, so 6 meters perhaps. Yeah.
Is there a sort of a wall or anything surrounding this tower?
Nope, just a keep on its own.
Just to keep stood in the middle of nowhere.
Yep, pretty much.
I go up the steps to the door. Who has the fire starting equipment?
I do have, but I don't think this is the way, Gray. I mean, we came here to learn about the legend, not to destroy this keep.
We're not destroying anything. I knock on the door.
My proposition would be to be patient. I mean, perhaps they're discussing.
I am being patient. This is me being patient.
All right, you knock on the door. Someone on the other door says, yes.
May we come in, please?
You'll have to hold on.
Hold on for what?
But get him the boss. It's a different voice to the one that was talking earlier.
And where is the boss?
Busy.
Well, so are we. And so
Well-
are you.
Yeah, no, I know I'm busy.
Yeah.
And you're doing a great job of it.
You're doing a really good job looking busy. But is that really what you want to do with your life?
1 second.
1 second is...
It goes really quiet. You hear sort of like the latch go clunk again.
That's more like it.
Come on then. So you're gonna walk? So Baradon, you're gonna walk past Grey? And open
No,
the door again?
Baradon, I was just moving on the map.
Cool.
And then Gray didn't move.
So, okay, you're gonna open the door. Or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I open the door and I step inside.
Okay, right.
I thought they were opening the door, sorry.
So as you open the door, you come face to face with this fairly robust-looking dwarf, and he's basically got this large pick, like a war pick, raised. Open the door. He goes, "Roar!" Basically hammers you with the pick.
What the fuck, dude?
Happy days. So, yeah, I guess let's go into combat, shall we? weren't expecting that today.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, you were. I lie.
For my spear fighting talent of rank 2 might be coming in handy.
Ooh, that's handy.
When you wield a spear, you may immediately strike an enemy who moves from near range to arm's length from you. The attack counts towards your actions in the round, but breaks the turn order and occurs before the enemy can attack you.
I like that. So you're just basically going to step back to the stairs, I take it? Or
I'm going to step to the side and then, try to knock his weapon out of his hand with my spear. I'm not going to actually try to wound him.
I like that. All right, then. Well, in that case, why don't you attack him, sir?
Now, does that cost 1 willpower or 2?
It'll cost you 1 willpower.
1 willpower, okay. All right. And, do I click disarm under actions? Is that what I do?
Ooh, you can indeed. It's pretty much what you're trying to do, right?
Yep.
Well, it's one-hand weapon requires a two-hand weapon requires 2. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so if you're successful, they'll drop their weapon, and then you can sort of step sideways into the room. Wow, look at that. So you step into the room.
I have 1 success.
Yeah, so as he kind of brings the pick down, you push your spear up, knock the pick out of the way and push him to the side, and you step into the room. When you step into the room, you notice there are 2 other people in the room. You can see there's a woman, a human, standing on the stairs, looking down at you, and there is this other guy that you saw with the salt and pepper hair, who is also a human, looking at you, sort of standing in the room, was obviously going to be the second person to do something. So you've done that, and it's kind of broken the initiative. We'll start again with the initiative. And handily, it's you first, Gray.
Okay. And what is this guy here? What weapon does he have?
He has a short sword.
And the dwarf, did I knock him to the ground, or is he still on his feet?
No, he's still on his feet. You basically just pushed him back, and
Yep.
You've knocked the pick out of his hand.
Okay. Can I kick the pick through the, basically sort of toward the door?
Back towards you, yeah, sure, you can do that as your action.
That's what I'll do, and I'll say, hey, now we've come in peace, no violence. We are just musicians who want to play for our supper. I hope Baradon and Anduin are really proud of me here. I didn't kill anyone.
The woman on the stairs holds her hands up and says, stop, Drake, stop. And then the other guy with the grey and salt and pepper beard hair, who's kind of was raising his short sword, is now looking at the woman on the stairs and kind of lowers it. He has dropped it. And he goes, okay. Dreg, on the other hand, is not happy about this in the slightest, and he kind of comes towards you. He's got this incensed look in his eye, and he's got chainmail sort of gloves on, and he's kind of coming towards you in a fighting stance, as if he's going to punch you. But he isn't actually coming into range. He looks like he probably will try and rush you maybe next turn.
I have no qualms eating dwarf for supper.
Cass is basically let me get in there, she says, but you guys are on the stairs. So
I am more than happy to make way for Cass.
Okay, so presumably you take a step back.
I'll take a step to the side.
Is Anduin also happy to do that?
I was not on the stairs, no, and she can pass by.
You're on the base of the stairs. Cool. In which case, Cass comes running in with her, I think she's got knives. She's got a
tambourine.
She's got a tambourine and a dagger in one hand. In the other, no! And she kind of comes in and sort of don't anyone move! Really kind of not judging the situation. Anduin, and you're last up the stairs.
I will move in, and I'm guessing I heard that they're trying to calm down the situation. Kind of, yeah. I heard this, right? So I will move in and say, please, let's not be harsh. We just want to play our music, have shelter for the night, have supper, and have a civilized discussion.
Sure. I mean, this room isn't particularly large, and with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you that are now in it, it's actually really starting to look quite cramped. There's also what looks like a small table in one side. There's a couple of medieval-looking beanbags, I guess is the best way to describe it. Someone's obviously filled some sacks with hay and straw and is using them as chairs. Yeah, it's just really, really cramped, and there's a set of stairs going up and a set of stairs going down, and she's on the stairs coming up from the up going down. So it's all kind of very cramped in.
I'll speak to the woman on the stairs. Are you the boss?
She says, no, but I am fairly sensible. And she smiles at you.
Well, that's good to know, because these clowns aren't.
Hey, says Pepperbeard. He takes a step towards Dreg the dwarf, and he puts his arm on his hand on his shoulder and goes, Now, let's just calm down. Dreg kind of looks at you and looks at the other guy and says, God damn it, Tarn, may Raven take your eyes. And he holds up his hands. He goes, okay. You can't be too careful around these parts.
I agree.
I think Dreg would make a good roadie.
It's safe to come in now, Baradon.
Well, other people were stood in the doorway. I didn't want to be rude.
When you come in, you can see this lady that's on the stairs. She's sort of like wearing a scholarly kind of outfit, and she's sort of like got dark hair, kind of pale skin, and she says, right, I'm the sensible one, so let's have a chat. And she sort of like makes her way down the stairs into the room, and she sort of looks towards the door that Baradon's just come in and says, any more of you, or is it just the four of you?
No, it's just us.
So it's a quartet then.
Yes, classic ensemble.
She says, unfortunately, I'm afraid to have to say that I have never heard of you, but I imagine if you're wandering around the Ravenlands looking for a coin or at least bed for your to sing for your supper and a place to sleep, sure, why don't you feel free to join us.
I'm just going to say, you may not have heard of us, but what you should actually say is, I haven't heard of you yet.
Okay.
Have you heard of a place called Ravensong Village?
Not.
See, we've come from there. We played a sold-out show.
Yeah, we are on tour at this moment, trying to find places to...
Yeah, we're interested in learning new musical arrangements from other people, maybe even old musical arrangements, ancient musical arrangements.
Okay, right. Well, that sounds good. Do you play it anywhere else, or is it just the middle of nowhere, she says?
Perhaps the proper thing would be some introductions and a tea.
Sure.
Okay, so I will start myself. So I'm Anduin Mossborn, druid from as profession, and yes. I play the flute.
Okay.
Gray.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Gray. As you can see, I'm a wolfkin. We don't wear very much clothes. I am a hunter by trade and a drummer.
That fits. Cass says, hi, I'm Cass. I play the tambourine, and I cart all their shit around.
She's the most indispensable member of the band. Which leaves me, Baradon, lead singer, creative genius, and lead flautist.
I'm Nella. Nice to meet you. I am a scholar, and this is my colleague, and the old man with the salt pepper hair. It says, I'm Tarn, merchant by trade. Nice to meet you. And he puts out his hand and goes to shake all yours, and this is a drag. He's our strong arm. Should we come across anyone who is, well, not very friendly. She says, well, look, why don't you come in, and I'll show you about. Feel free to make yourself at home anywhere here on this floor. And she shows you about. She kind of takes you through past into, she says, this is the living room. She then takes you into sort of a small sort of hallway. She says, there's storage on the left, the kitchen straight on. If you come around here, she takes you round, and there's another sort of like living room thing with a table and some other chairs and what looks like a couple of beds. She says, if you'd like to stay here, feel free. There's quite a big space in this end room. So you can sort of like make yourself at home here if you want.
It is most kind of you. Thank you so much.
Most kind. So how many do you think will be in the audience this evening?
There's two more. They're busy scouting around. I'm sure they'll be down presently.
Have you been here long?
A couple of weeks.
And your boss, what exactly is he the boss of? What do you people do?
She smiles and says, we liberate old trinkets from places that are no longer used anymore. And I like to research things, and then, well, we find out what we can. Tarn here sells them. Yeah, you kind of get the idea.
Archaeologists, anthropologists, scholars, and traders.
That's pretty much it.
Noble trade.
I don't know about noble, but it pays the bills.
Come across any old scrolls with music on them?
Well, now you mention it, there was a few things. Well, I don't know if you know about this place. I can tell you about it if you want. Do you want a drink?
Sure.
I'm just about to make some tea.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah.
It would be nice to raise a glass towards Stein Brutung himself.
You know about Steinbrück.
We've heard a few things.
Well, his real name is Stein Brutung, and he was one of the Murmurin. I guess how you say it. It's difficult to say. Is that how you say it? And Dreg kind of goes, "Oh no, I'm not one of them. I'm a Canid." Okay, sorry. He's touchy about. The clans are touchy about which clan's which. So anyway, Bru's clan used to live around these parts, and when they got thrown out of the local mountains, they kind of made their way over here and created themselves a bit of a sort of a pathway between east and west and sort of set this up. It turns out that Stein, driven to a lot of greed, he kind of sought out an artifact, and that artifact was known as, well, he put it in the ruined crypt of Brutung, and he was part of an organization. An organization? Does that seem right? Probably not an organization. That would be wrong. It's probably more like an organization within an organization. And they basically were called, I think they're called the Stone Choirs or something like that, the Stone Chorus. But they were committed to recovering lost songs of old Dwarvish oathcraft. So it turns out that if you listen to sort of like the old sort of myths and legends, that these stone choruses, stone choir, whatever they were called, could build stone through song. Apparently, this is the rumor. If you speak to any old dwarf, they'll tell you about how they were, they created the earth that we're on, the planet, the land we're on. They basically created it from a small piece, and all through the ages, they basically made it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it just got to the point where you couldn't see the curve of the Ravenlands, and they're continuing to build. And so that's what all the stone laying around are, all the mountains. It's the next layer that the dwarves are going to build on. And so this was one of the things that they decided that they could do. So these were sort of like a specialist as part of the dwarven history. I mean, take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the only way you're going to be able to build things in stone is with a pick and a hammer and all that kind of thing.
So you're saying these songs and these chants could shape stone?
Yeah.
That is the ultimate rock music.
Yeah, says, I suppose, yeah, if that's what it would be. Folk like yourselves, I'm sure, could turn that into some kind of rock music. So as she's making the tea, she says that, the rumors are that the vault of Brutung could show the way to where they came from. They think it was called the Echo Vault or something like that. The Hall of Verses. It was something like that. It's difficult to kind of particularly go through all the information. They kind of contradict themselves. But yeah.
How do you know all this? This is very interesting, Nella. We as, interested also scholars of the music to some degree. This is most interesting. Where did you learn all this information?
She looks over at Tarn, the older guy, and she says, I've found other places that have kind of helped me piece together the legends that is all about Brutung.
And what about this echo? This echo place?
The Echo Vault. Apparently, I think it's hidden further sort of in the Shroud Forest, but no one's found it. I mean,
within the forest, so it's in this region.
Yeah, it's in this region.
It's where the Edge hides all of his guitar riffs.
Oh dear!
I broke the what is that? The fourth wall. Yeah.
She says, "Well, I mean, we'll have to see. I don't know." She offers you some tea, and she's got sort of like little pastries that looks like they made in the loosest possible sense. It's a bit of sort of bread with honey on, and she sort of like sits down and sort of like dips it in the tea, and she's eating when she's sitting on one of the sort of like sags.
And I'm like, oh, Berben, so good. I'm a herbalist. I'm like,
yeah, it's really nice, fragrant tea. And she says, I mean, what kind of music do you play? Folk, I think you said.
We play folk rock music.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to hearing it. What do you reckon? Drake's like, yeah, fucking great. And he sort of like wanders off.
Is there a fireplace in this room?
There is a fireplace in the room. It's not lit because it's nice and sunny and, but it looks like it has been lit. And there's various pots and pans and stuff that looks like they've been using to cook with.
Is this your base at this moment?
For the moment, yeah.
Oh, so this is not a stable place for you. You just come and go? Or...
No. We've learned to sort of like make wherever we end up going our home.
Because you see, we are also looking for a recording studio where we can, further our music. So this is like a lovely place.
Thanks.
I don't know that they have that kind of technology in the Forbidden Lands.
Rehearsing studio. Let's call it rehearsing studio.
If any one of us had rolled something like that as our legend,
that would have been cool.
Yeah. So she's happy to make you a home, and if you want to sit in and, just generally chill out, she's happy for that.
What shift were we in when we arrived? I forgot.
It was the afternoon, I think.
Okay, so we are just
sounds
getting ready. We can rest now, perhaps.
Yeah, you can rest. Yeah, if you want to rest, feel free.
Yeah.
Tarn's happy for you to do that. He says, I'll go and make some lunch and stuff. So Tarn wanders off to the kitchen.
Tarn, before you go, in fact, Beradon will follow him and ask where he goes to trade his items. Are there any settlements nearby?
Yeah, sure there are.
Anything like that? And would he be able to mark them on our map?
Damn you, Scott. Yes,
Beradon Trevere, making GM's work since 2025.
He does. If you go to the player map of your player map of the Ravenlands, I will mark some places for you. So he says, yes. So from where we sit, there is a. So do you have a map?
It's just loading up now. Yeah, I've got it.
He says, yeah, let me mark it for you. And says, the places that you will probably want to go and visit. There is a town up here called near Backwater Bay. And he gives you a name that Ed has not actually thought of yet. There is another one on the coast. In fact, there's two on the coast. And he gives you some names. And could you do me a favor and roll me 3d6?
That's a 6, a 1, and a 2.
Okay. I'll tell you now. He gives you the name of the following places. He says the village to the south, it's a fishing village, is called Maytorn. It's not a particularly big village, but they sort of like trade in fish and they're quite good, sort of like they build small boats. But recently it has been plagued by slavers that are coming up from the south and heading north. They're a good bunch, but they follow the Rust brothers. So there is that. So, you can decide what you do. I mean, I'm not really that fussed with the Blood Brothers. I mean, the Rust Brothers are. I kind of see if they don't bother me, I don't bother them. It's that kind of thing.
But they do bother an awful lot of people.
They do. This is true.
They're so sure of themselves, aren't they?
This is true. The village to the north on Backwater Bay is called Cliffstorm. And again, it's quite a big town.
Is that the one to the south of Backwater Bay or the one to the north?
It's the one to the north of Backwater Bay.
One to the north. Yeah, got it.
And they have boats that come there quite frequently that go up to the Bitterlands, I think they call it. Apparently it's a land far to the north of the Ravenlands that is apparently bitterly cold all year round.
Sounds dreadful. Why would anyone want to live there?
I mean, sounds particularly cold and horrible. I quite like our wonderful, pleasant Ravenlands that it never seems to rain or have any kind of problems in. And then, last but not least, the one in the middle is called High Keep.
Is that just an optimistic name, or is there actually a keep there?
There is an old keep there, but it is, again, it's another fishing village. They're the ones that I sort of like trade with the most. There are other towns to the south, but I mean, probably you might not want to be involved in them. There's some goblin towns to the south. Nasty creatures.
So this place is called High Keep, you said?
High Keep.
Is it because they're high all the time?
It's because it's on sort of like a small cliff face. But yeah. But there's a really nice place called the Black Bard Inn.
Are they high there?
I'm not high there either. I think you don't quite understand them. I think it's hard. He's like, oh, you're messing with me. Okay, sorry. So
sometimes it can be hard to tell with Gray, but usually he's joking. Sometimes it's just murderous instinct.
It's the wolf in me, what can I say?
He says, there's a couple of other smaller towns along the way, but you're probably, if you were to continue going south following the lake, and you followed all the way to the sea, you would find, and I think there's another village, but we kind of don't really go there. Yeah. And then it's probably a couple of days travel from here, and then a couple of more days travel further north up to the first village, etc., etc. It's probably 2 or 3 days between each one. But yeah, I mean, I've given you plenty of backstory here. He says as he continues to sort of like scrub out some pots and pans and stuff. Scott, could you please, or can Baradon please, make a scouting roll for me, please?
He can certainly attempt it. Scouting. Rolling purely on his wits. Because he has no skills this year. However, he has rolled 2 successes.
He's a witty fellow.
He is.
So there are about 10 plates here, or 10 dishes and various cutlery that suggests there'll be around about 10 people that are here.
But they've told us there are only 2 more. Okay.
I don't like that.
Baradon sort of looks around, looks at Tarn. Doesn't say anything at this point.
Yeah, but he just kind of gets on with it. He's just like doing the washing up, as it were. And
Tarn, can I help you prepare dinner?
No, it's fine. You just, make yourselves comfortable and we'll sort it out.
Thank you very much. And I'll walk back to the room that the others are in.
You wander back? Yeah, so Nella's still kind of like telling you a little bit about the stories and, the keep, and that they found loads of ancient Dwarven runes, which they've kind of been trying to, she kind of drones on quite a lot. It's easy to kind of just sit there and fall into a bit of a stupor.
Yeah, I kind of, as soon as I think I can get a word in, I will ask her, Nella, so what exactly is your boss busy with?
Research.
What is he researching?
Or of the Dwarven stuff.
Dwarven stuff?
Well,
I'm very technical for a scholar.
Well, I don't particularly want to tell any more. Let's just say, it's not my place to say what they're looking at. That's up to them.
But them, how many bosses are there?
Well, like the other 2.
You have 2 bosses.
Well, 1 boss and 1 underboss. I mean, you know what I mean. They're the leaders of the group.
And they're upstairs. Didn't you say there were 2 others outside scouting?
No, they're upstairs. Just scouring around. Sorry, no, I didn't mean they were scouting. They were like upstairs doing the things they were doing.
I understand.
Sorry, maybe it just doesn't translate.
Into what? Wolf?
Well, sort of like, she's like, no, well, that's not quite what I'm going to go and help Tom. She sort of like wanders off.
So has Baradon come into the
yes
living room?
Baradon sort of crosses as they go past, and he will point out to Anduin and Grey that there are more plates than maybe the numbers she suggested would, or she told us would suggest. Just be on your guard, folks.
I'm going to sort of wander toward that storage room.
Okay. You wander to that storage room.
They did tell us to make ourselves at home.
They did. And as you sort of like wander to the storage room, you can see that Dreg is being followed by a female dwarf as they kind of like come around from the stairs and heading towards you. Yeah, as you see them, you carry on to the storage room. Yeah, you can see there's quite a lot of storage in here. There's a lot of food, all the stuff that you'd need to sort of like put together. You reckon 5 people would have made a couple of trips to kind of get all the raw ingredients. You reckon make crafting, I think. Crafting or insight, your pick.
I'm going to go with insight.
Yep, that's fine.
I have 2 successes.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. It definitely will feed 5 people quite a long time, but it would still feed 10 people, a good 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. I'll come down and I'll scoot into here.
Cool. As you scoot into the hallway going to the original living room where the front door is, you see Dreg being followed by this female dwarf. She is sort of wearing another pike, sort of like, on her side, but there's also, she's got a bunch of like pouches and some various other things. She's not wearing any armor or anything like that. And she goes, "Oh, hello. You must be the guests."
You must be correct.
"Nice to meet you." And she holds out her grubby, dusty hand.
Yeah, don't be offended, but I don't shake people's hands. I don't know where they've been.
She says, Fair enough. She says, I'm not offended. You are?
Gray.
Gray, nice to meet you, Gray. We don't see many wolfkin around these parts. Of course, it's not far to the sort of south where there is quite a fair few wolfkin. Are you from the southern wolfkin tribes?
I am not.
Interesting. Where are you from?
Are you a member of the Longbeard clan?
She says, she smiles and says, no, I'm Merimelian. That is my clan. Mira Brutung. Nice to meet you.
I know someone who would be very interested in meeting you.
Sure, let's meet the rest of your team, shall we? And she sort of like walks past you to go around into the room that everybody else is in.
Yep, I'll follow her. And I'll go, hey, Baradin, look who I found.
Baradin sort of sat strumming away on his lute, and he stands up and taps his hand to his forehead, offers a hand, says, good morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is.
Hi. She puts out like a grubby, dusty hand and says, Mira Brutung, nice to meet you.
Baradon Trevere. And Baradon does shake hands.
Yep, you get a very dusty handshake.
Brutung, you say? So this must be a bit of a spiritual homecoming for you.
Yes, we're looking for a lot of ancestry removed granddad.
Not Stein, by any chance?
Yes, it is.
I'm intrigued, because we're here as well, following up on a rumour that he carried with him an old scroll with a musical score on it.
Yes.
And we just had a very interesting conversation with your friend Nella, which suggests a far deeper cultural understanding than we originally anticipated.
Make an insight roll.
So, Baradon's insight is 1, his wit of 6. He's rolling 6 dice. Watch him fail miserably. Yes, he does. That's
excellent.
That's 2 skulls.
Carry on however you wish.
Baradon carries on as he has begun the entire campaign. Roll buckets of dice and utterly cock it up. Baradon is completely unaware to whatever has just happened.
She says, oh, okay, well, I'm glad she's filled you in. How do you know about this?
My father actually told me part of the story, and I found a few references in some of the books back in our hometown that basically didn't really tell us very much, other than there were some scrolls of ancient music that he carried with him that have since been lost. And we're always on the lookout for new musical inspiration, things that we can work into our act, and if we can spread a bit of culture and history as we travel, then all the better for it.
Nice. And I guess that you're one of the others that's part of this quartet, I think.
I have the pleasure of being the rhythm lautist and lead singer for
I see.
the Folk Vandals Club.
And you, sir, he says to Anduin, you are?
Doing Mossborn, druid by trade, and the flute. The second. Well, I don't know if it's second, but the second most important instrument on our quartet.
She says, I play something similar, and she basically whips out like what looks like a flute.
Perfect. So you might want to join us.
She says, yeah. She sort of shakes your hand and says, and this is to Cass. And Cass goes, all right. She says, nice to meet you. She says, yeah, it's fine. And she sort of like shakes her hand and says, yeah, I just, yeah. And she's like, okay, right. Say no more. She says, well, it's good to meet you all. I hear you're staying for dinner and maybe you'll be playing us a song.
I think that's the plan.
That sounds like a great plan. I think that's, yeah, I like that. I look forward to it. I'm just going to go get washed up. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Just before we go, your friend Nilla mentioned that there was a boss and an underboss. Are you the boss?
I know what, my brother is the boss. So Garrett...
Another Brutung?
Indeed. He's got a couple of years on me, so technically he's the heir, but I'm the smart one. She smiles.
It's funny because Nella said exactly the same thing.
She glares over at Nella. She sort of like says, well, I'll probably be back in an hour or so. She sort of pats the wolf as she goes by on the shoulder and says, I'll see you in a bit. And she wanders off to go and wash up. And they kind of leave you to it. really. There isn't much else to say. They just sort of let you to sort of have a chat, do whatever you want to do. They just don't really bother you too much. Is there anything particular you want to do for sort of like essentially the rest of the shift?
Beridon's keen to just sort of have a little wander around the outside of the tower, a wander back and through, just casually going about, looking like he's going about business, and just generally trying to pay attention to the mood in the place and see whether or not these people are actually, genuinely happy to have them here, or at least professionally content to have them here, or whether there's an undercurrent of hostility or any kind of hint of a trap or... the GM's rolling dice.
I know you love it when I get to roll dice. Could you all please make an endurance roll? Gray, you can have an extra 2 dice.
In typical Beridon fashion, no I can't.
Okay.
So that's
Cool.
no successes, but no banes either.
Gray has a failure, but I'm going to push it, if I may. Can I push it?
Can you push it? No, you can't push it.
Can't push it. Okay, then I'm not going to push it.
And Adrian, how are you with your endurance roll?
I don't pass either, and I have a bane.
Okay, and I shall just roll.
Seems like the end of our session.
I think you might find this comes to the end of the session. We'll find out in just a sec.
And possibly the end of the campaign.
No. We will just be sold as slaves, and that's it.
Yeah, you carry on doing all the things you're going to do, and you wake up, it's morning.
We slept through the night. Where are we?
So did we perform, or?
Well, you're like, did we perform?
I would like to point out I did not drink the tea that was offered.
I understand that.
Okay.
And that is fine.
Just making sure.
The last thing you have a recollection of doing is basically Mira leaving the room. You were planning to doing something, and you started to do whatever you were about to do. That was the last thing you remember.
Do we have our stuff with us, our gear? Or
But where are we? Now, if we open our eyes.
Well, you're like, what? Where are we? So you kind of wake up and you are in a room. This is not the room that you left in, which is very disconcerting for yourselves. But you do wake up in what looks like large room.
At least we are not in a wagon being taken away.
You are not in a wagon being taken away, which is always good. So it looks like you're in a bedroom and you're all together. You sort of like come round and you realize that you're bound behind your back with what looks like perhaps a rope. All your gear and stuff is kind of piled up in a corner, and it looks like people have fleeced you for stuff, but you are all staring at each other on the floor in the bedroom, realizing that you have somehow been poisoned or something. You can hear the sound of an argument happening, maybe a floor or 2 away.